Welcome back to another live. I'm your host, Joseph Lewin, and today I have the privilege to welcome back Cory Carlson. Cory's a friend. I've known him for quite a while, and he's also very integrated in a lot of the circles I am here in Cincinnati, and for good reason. Cory is just an awesome guy. He really loves sewing into other men and helping them win at work and at home. And so I've had the privilege over the last few months of joining the Rise community, which Cory started. So I want to just spend a little bit of time sharing or having Cory mostly share about the Rise community, what it is, why he started it, and who it's for. So Cory, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for having me on here to talk about the Rise community. It feels, somewhat selfish to share what I've been working on. And however, I'm very grateful for this opportunity because it's helping men. And we're hearing about breakthroughs that men are experiencing inside Rise, whether they're getting wins at home or work, getting purpose back in their life, whatever it may be. So thanks for giving me a chance to share more.
Yeah, and I think this community is super important because for men, men tend to isolate themselves, especially as you get married, you have kids, you have, a career. It's very easy to isolate yourself, and that could be isolating yourself from, other men, other people in the community, could be isolating yourself from your family, maybe both. And it's really easy, especially the more successful you become in your career, to isolate yourself from relationships more and more because it's just compartmentalize things and okay, I'm going to go to work. I'm winning there. Maybe you have some challenging things going on at home, and so it's easy to like go bury yourself in work and maybe ignore some of the things at home, or vice versa. Maybe you have something hard going on at work, and then you could kind of lean on your family in that setting and ignore things that you need to work on to be successful in your career. And so love the work that you've been doing for the last while to recognize that, like, hey, men need balance in their lives. They need to figure out how to win in different areas. So I said we'd say who it's for later, but actually I think maybe that's a good spot to start, just to set the context for the rest of the conversation. Who is the Rise community for?
Yeah, I mean, as you kind of alluded to, it's about men. I mean, men are not doing well, Joseph. Men are 4 times more likely than women to commit suicide. Men are 3 times more likely than women to have alcohol issues or some form of dependent on some chemical. And men are 2 times as likely than women to have mental health struggles. So the man is not doing well. And is it because of pressure we put on ourselves to perform at work? Is it because we become, we're so focused on work, we don't have friends, we don't have community, whatever it is, men are not doing well, which is why we launched Rise, is to help men. And so Rise is for men who are committed to win at home and at work and in their faith. It is about faith. It's not a small group. We're not, necessarily just reading like scripture, but it's anchored in our faith. It's not a networking group where guys are just trying to get business from each other. Now, people are working together or getting connected outside of our leadership calls, which is fantastic. But instead, it's more of, I would say, an accountability group that is, and it's not just because we're saying, did you do this? Did you do that? It's when people show up to the call, there's other just incredible leaders on the call. And there's almost accountability, Joseph, when you look on your calendar and you see you got your Rise call at Monday at noon, because it's I'm going to show up and people are going to talk about how they went on a date with their spouse over the weekend, or how they're intentional with their kids, or how they got to the gym, or they're doing 100 push-ups a day, or they are rolling out vision and values to their company. There's just a variety of wins that we hear about every single week. And I think that's the power in Rise. It is men who are hungry to learn and get better, but they're humble enough to know that they don't have all their stuff figured out, and they want to learn from each other. So it's been pretty powerful. And we only launched January 1st. I mean, we're not even 3 full months in, and it has just been so life-giving to myself and, well, the 70 other men that are in it.
Tell me a little bit more about what the Rise community is.
Yeah. So what the Rise community is, and kind of the reason why it even came together is, I'd say two different reasons. I do executive coaching, one-on-one coaching, and not everyone can afford one-on-one coaching. It's just, it's at a higher price point than some people want to spend that money on or have available to them. But I know other men need help, not just the ones that are CEOs or business leaders of the company. So it was like, how can I create an environment for individuals who can get the same content that one-on-one coaching has, but at a lower price point? So that was one of the drivers, Joseph. The other driver was, as I'm working with my one-on-one clients, there's still an element of loneliness they're having. Because yes, they may be in a small group. Yes, they may have a group of friends, but not all their friends can relate to what they're going through. And I just would be like, man, I wish, so-and-so that I'd coach knew so-and-so. They would benefit from each other. So I was like, let's do a community. So they, in fact, can do that. And so that's what we did. I mean, inside Rise is a mixture of, there's a CEO who oversees, 2,000 people that is inside Rise, all, down to a solopreneur. Rise was to build a community where men could come together to help encourage and push each other to win at home, work, and in their faith. And so that's the why behind it. And the what is, every Monday from 12 to 1 Eastern, we have a leadership call. It is either led by myself or we have monthly guest speakers. Who I'm reaching out to my network, and even some a little bit beyond my network, to say, hey, come in and speak. And those talks have been incredible. And so it's just, Rise is providing content to help men have success at home and work. And it's really up to them of what do they want to apply. And it's been fun to see how some of these men are applying. So that's my hope for anyone who's watching this, is if you don't have community, or you're feeling a little bit kind of dry and you need some content, some community and coaching, join us. Love to have you in.
That's something that I've really enjoyed seeing, is there you have a circle community. So, you've got the Monday calls, which are valuable, where you have teaching, then you have, courses, right? You have some trainings in the circle community that people can watch, that are your content around, how you win at work and at home, and around leadership and everything like that. But then also people are interacting with each other. It's almost like in a sense, like a social media feed, but just of a bunch of awesome guys that are working through this, kind of like you said, at all levels, right? Some people who are ahead, they are winning in the areas you want to win, and you're learning from them. Then there's other people who are at the same stage that you're at, where they're posting about things that you can relate to and go, hey, there's other people dealing with what I'm dealing with. And then people who, maybe you're ahead of and you can encourage. And so social media can become extremely negative in lots of ways. But then when you have a feed of just a bunch of awesome guys, you kind of get a little bit, a lot more out of that than your typical social feed would be.
Well, you said social media, made me laugh, because no one wants another social media feed. I get it, myself included. But what I've seen about this Rise feed is it's a layer or two deeper than anyone would ever post on a LinkedIn. Such as, I need help growing in emotional intelligence. How do I do that? How do I get my wife on board on something I'm wanting to roll out as a family vision? Like, it's some deeper layer questions that this is a safe place for people to engage with. And that's been pretty cool to see. It's not just anything you see on LinkedIn. It's just deeper, getting into people's why and into their purpose and what makes them tick. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah. And I mean, I know you kind of already touched on it, but more than ever, people feel alone and are isolated. And I think even after COVID, through COVID, after COVID, that there's been some of that lingering, and people want connection. And the hard part is that when you go online, or you just kind of generally peruse around, you're going to end up running into these factions where people have their way of viewing things, and then it's really negative towards anybody else. So it almost ends up being as much like, hey, we're not those people over there, as it is that, you're pursuing something that is important. And so it can be really hard to find something where it's like, hey, this is where we want to go. And way more about the hope and vision of what is possible than becoming part of a community that's all against something else, which I feel like is a lot of what you run into when you're just kind of generally looking for a community. And so being able to find something like that is super valuable.
And Joseph, what makes Rise so, I'd say, successful? I mean, like I said, we're just over 70 people and only not even 3 months in. But it's guys like you that are in the group who are solopreneurs now, switching into a corporate role that you have, but you're driven, you've got a vision. You run a nonprofit in Kenya. You have your own family. You have success in the workplace. I mean, it's that type of just leadership, business diversity that's coming inside Rise. So when we show up to Rise into those calls, like, there's always something to learn from somebody. And that is what's been, even for me, inspiring. Yes, I may be leading this community or these calls, but man, I'm here just to learn as much. I'm doing this with a friend and a partner in it. And when we were talking about different call structures to roll out, one of them was ask an AMA, ask me anything. Anytime you're in these communities, there's usually an AMA call. Hey, ask the speaker, author, facilitator questions.
Yeah.
When that idea was brought to me, I sat on it and I just had this prompting like, no, I want ACA. I want Ask the Community thing, because I am far from the smartest individual in this group. I mean, it is unbelievable. And so once a month, we have an ACA call where people will send in some questions in advance. We'll go through those, as well as maybe ones that are on the spot, and people are just chiming in of what helps. And that's been pretty powerful. And that's what's happening inside Rise is, hey, we're just trying to learn from each other. This isn't just me, or others just speaking from a stage out to the audience. I mean, this is very much everyone's participating, learning. Let's help. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah. Love it. So how can people find out more about Rise? Like, what does it look like to be a part of it, and how can they be a part of it if they want?
Yeah. Thank you for letting me talk about and share. It's awesome. DM me on LinkedIn. If you're not connected to me, I'd love to get connected. It's Cory Carlson. You can DM me. I'll answer any questions. All the information is at rise-community.com. We've got all the descriptions. We even have some peeks behind the curtain, what it looks like. We've taken a lot of questions we have received. We put those questions and answers at the bottom of the website. So all the information is there, and love to have you join us.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, man, Cory, thank you so much for jumping on and talking through this. I think what you're doing is super important. I think there's a huge gap in this space just for men to have community and have other people around them that are going to be spurring them on to do what's right and win in all areas of their life, and make sure they're not neglecting one thing over the other. And so, man, just thank you so much for what you're doing and for coming on to share about it.
Well, thanks. I think the last thing I'd say, Joseph, is I think some people, even as they watch this, they think they're the only one not winning in their marriage. Everyone else is, or they're the only one not being an amazing parent. And there's a little bit of shame or fear. But I think that's what's been so powerful about the Rise is these aren't perfect men. And I'm not perfect. Matter of fact, I had to apologize to my son just yesterday. Instead of perfection, each of us are just trying to figure out, hey, how do I progress? How can I have intentionality around my life to show up as a better father, a better husband, a better leader at work? How can I be more bold and courageous? And if that's you who's watching this, man, join us. It's join a whole bunch of broken people just trying to figure life out and get better.
Love it, man. Thanks again, Cory. Really appreciate having you on.
Thanks.